had an interesting idea or thought as to why why this thing is going on. There seems to be definitely a smear campaign going against Diddy. Like, I just watched a video where someone was talking about things that allegedly he did, but then they just added like about 20 pictures of him with Donald Trump, and a clip of Donald Trump saying that they were good friends, and that was when he was on Apprentice. But I'm like, is this AI or not? But I don't know. I saw all those pictures, and half of them look fake. Like, half of them didn't actually look like they were on the same picture, but they'd just been edited together because they were really grainy, and they didn't the lighting didn't look exactly the same on the images of the two people. But I don't know. I just, looking at that, made it look like there's a lot of sort of smear campaigning against Diddy to make him look like a monster for whatever reason. And I feel like whatever's going on with him has something to do with me, in the sense that, I'm going to call him Angel of God the Father. And yeah, if people hate him, then they might hate me for calling him that, or thinking that he's called that, or I don't know. But I feel like a smear campaign is going to be set up against me, where there's going to be sort of two camps. One of people that believe me and think that I am Christ and I am God, and then another group of people who are going to think that I'm not Christ, can't be Christ. They're going to reject me, but might accept the fact that I'm some sort of sacrifice, and that's, I think, what the Diddy freak off is about, trying to make it look as realistic to him as possible. But yeah, I'm just wondering, because if that's got anything to do with why all these restraining orders are going on. Like, I don't know what their plan is or anything, but if people want to know about my family, it does look bad that the fact that there's like, what, a 4 years of restraining order. The child was born in 2000, and it's now 2004, March 2000, and it's now 2004, at the end of 2004, 2005 almost. So there's basically been like 5 years of restraining orders on my sister and on my mum. None of this makes any sense, because my sister is mentally ill, but did back off and sort of accepted this role, and just didn't make too much of an effort. So that shouldn't have been put on place. But yeah, I don't know why it's just been going on year after year, why so many restraining orders have been placed on them for absolutely no reason at all. But I know that if people were to try and get like information about my story, the fact that my mom has got restraining orders on her for 5 years, it might make people think badly of her. What you've got, you're so mad that I admit she's mad, yes, but she's not dangerously mad. And I know at the beginning she was very tempted to want to just go over there and see the child, and so she was a little bit mad. So I kind of understand George's concern a little bit, but yeah, if a court allows a restraining order to be on someone, but that same person for an unjustified reason, like just for no reason at all, basically, she went to go and give him a present at Christmas, and I don't know, apparently she was talking and he tried to get her out of her house, and when the door was open, and she kind of stepped inwards, and according to my mum, he pushed her away from the door and then slammed the door in her face. But in court he changed it and said that she was the one who hit him, and that was why he closed the door. But regardless to what, this is one hit we're talking about, and the same thing happened with how Sophie lost custody in the first place. George allegedly said Sophie hit her, and I think Sophie did hit her. She said she did hit him, but it's still one hit. And I asked why, and he said that he was being very annoying, and I know George can be very annoying, and there's times where I want to hit him. So I can see why she would hit him, and I can see why she would get frustrated, because he's very condescending, and he would say things in a very I want to wind you up way, with the intention of using this as reason to so he's not a nice person at all. But yeah, I don't understand why a court would allow a restraining order on someone who's done next to nothing. You hear of EastEnders, and there was a restraining order. Stacey was trying to get a restraining order on a guy who'd broken into her house and started attacking her and hitting her, and she was struggling to get a restraining order on something like that. So I don't understand how that could be so difficult. How I don't understand how it could be so difficult to get a restraining order on someone, and yet my George was easily able to get a restraining order on both my mum and my sister for unjustified reasons, and it doesn't make sense. Neither are violent people, and neither pose a threat to a child. And George, I don't know what he's doing. But if the point of doing this is to make my family look bad, well, that would work. If these stories were to go around the public about my mum having a restraining order on them for 5 years, because she hit him or something like this, I can imagine that going completely viral in the wrong direction, and making my family look bad. And so I'm wondering if the courts know this, and if the reason why she's having meeting after meeting every 6 months over her saying 2 words to him, is that the point? Is that the main point of it? The point of it is just to try and make her look bad by making out that, she had to go to court loads of different times over this couple of words she said when he sat next to her. I mean, the story is just, it's not a trouble. It's only just causing her. She had to wait 3 hours to have a court hearing, and when this court hearing started, the only thing they discussed was when to have the next meeting. I mean, something's definitely up here, and this isn't a normal court hearing. My mum said that there were other people in the room, that's why there was a 3-hour wait, because she had to wait for all these other people to have their cases, but most of them just got dismissed at the first hearing. And so why is she going on for a third hearing over something that's literally nothing? I don't know. I mean, is this a smear campaign? Is the government setting up a smear campaign to make my family look bad as a sort of test, so that if this goes public, my whole family looks bad? To be honest, you don't need to do much to make my family look bad, but yeah, saying that she had to go had a restraining order on her for 5 years and needed to go to court. She can't look after a child. I know that, but there's a difference between not being able to look after a child because they're just not very mentally well, and being aggressive and violent and needing a restraining order because they're a danger to a child. These are 2 completely different things. But yeah, there's so many people that are so stupid, and they'll just be like, there's a videotape of Diddy hitting Cassie, and because of that, that's evidence that he's done this to loads of other people, and that he's the rapist of kids, and just taking the story so far, and people just believe it because other people say that that video, and him saying, oh yeah, I confess, I admit I did that. I mean, I don't even know if that is real. I'm wondering if the footage itself is even fake. But it's I feel like people are taking that excuse of him saying, yes, I did it, and they're saying that he's admitting to all the cases, all the rape allegations, all the offences being laid up against him. Murad was just like, he's trying to say that Cassie's only just trying to extort him and make a book and make a story out of it, and how can you say all that when also making a video about how she's right and how you're sorry and how you're apologizing? These are 2 different things. You can't confess to doing something and then deny everything the next day. And I was just like, actually, there's 2 very different things. That video, that confession video, was him saying, I did that specific video, that specific act in the hotel, that day I was on drugs, I acted inappropriately. That is what the video was about. And if he's taken it down, it's because there's a million other allegations being made, and people are linking that apology video with everything else that's going on. And it's just how anyone cannot see that as being like, this is obviously, he's taken it down because he's not confessing to all of that, and people are just taking it out of context. I mean, I really hate people. I really do.